So the question is, do you want to create a independent workforce who can work in your absence and can grow your business for you? Because maybe, and this is my attitude, is the team members could live their goals and their dreams 100 times over within the size of the organization you're building. It's about understanding what really moves the needle. I mean, it's a great question because efficiency normally moves the needle positively for a short period of time, but then eventually it runs out and it would decrease the moving of the needle, because the moving of the needle through the efficiency is normally cut something back, time, energy, effort, and has normally disempowered people with a bunch of things. So it's like micromanaged. Well, like, here's the 6 steps, just do the 6 steps, you're a robot, don't think. And so I don't necessarily think there's a right answer. So I like to think about efficiency of building teams or building anything. Think about the end in mind. Right? What are we here to do over what timescale? So for instance, if I was to say you need to build something to go and for your family to live in, right? Some people will go to a palace, other people will go to a 3-bedroom house, other people would go to a 2-bedroom house, but what's wrong with a tarpaulin and a piece of rope? You see, if you only need something for one night for your family to shelter under, a tarpaulin and a piece of rope will be fine. They might not be happy sleeping on the ground, but they'll suck it up and get on with it. But a tarpaulin and a piece of ground will work for that one night, but it won't work for 100 nights, right? And so it's understanding that, like, cause and effect of, if you're going to bring a team together for a very short period of time to do a very specific piece of work that has very defined outcomes, the management and leadership style that you'll do will be more micromanaging, more specific, more highly structured, more highly organized. You've got 6 days to do this, time short, to get it done. But if you're looking to build a business that you can leave and go on vacation for 3 or 4 weeks and come back and your business has grown and there's no mundane problems to solve, then you need to put a different level of, like, work and thought and love and care into your team, so that when you're not present, they can still feel you're present through the love and care that you've invested in them beforehand. So if we take Jesus, that's exactly what Jesus did. He showed so much love and care, even willing to be betrayed, die, resurrect, and forgive, and still teach, right? So much love and care that after he'd left in human form, the original 12 disciples were happy to die for him, without saying he was not who he said he was, right? Well, if you think about most business owners, what it is that they're looking for is, at some point in time, they've got an idea of building a second business, or retiring, or selling, or sitting back and smoking cigars on a beach and working 2 hours a week and having money go into their bank account. All of that requires a team that is sustainable on the long term, and the team's doing that off the culture of you that you put into them through your love you've shown to them. And so I don't think there's a right answer. I think it's very dependent on the context of what you're trying to achieve. I'm very well aware that if you think for people, people will not think for you. So managing people and micromanaging people and over-systemizing and processing business, and systems and processes are important, but overdoing it, like McDonald's. If you took somebody who can make burgers in McDonald's and then put them in a restaurant to make burgers, but there was no rules, there's the ingredients, just do it your way, they wouldn't actually know how to make the burger, because they have to do it this way and they have to wait for 16 seconds and then turn it, and they have to do this, and then that pinger goes off, and they're just a robot in a sausage factory, for a way of thinking about it. So they're not a cook, they're not a chef. They don't really know how to make burgers or produce food. They're just putting effectively a version of nut A on bolt B, twisting 4 times, passing it to the next person. And so the more of that structure we put in, the less people learn, the less people think, less people grow, and the more dependent they are upon you. And so the question is, do you want to create a independent workforce who can work in your absence and can grow your business for you? Because maybe, and this is my attitude, is the team members could live their goals and their dreams 100 times over within the size of the organization you're building. Therefore, they're there for the long term, right? Like Yates said to me the other week, why would I leave? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I can achieve my goals and dreams 100 times over. My lifetime ones within Kingdompreneur, right? Why? So he's loyal, he's independent, he's thinking, gets coached, all those things, new opportunities, gets to travel, all of those things, and therefore he becomes a great team player. I think most businesses try and measure performance and by accident decrease it consistently. You have to be careful what you measure. There is stuff we shouldn't do unless we can measure it, but there's a cause and effect relationship between measuring. And so if you give somebody a minimum target, they will always struggle to achieve it, because human nature is to get 90% of the way there and then back off. And so if you give somebody a minimum target, I met a business owner yesterday, furious with his salespeople. I'm like, well, what's the problem? It's giving them a minimum target, like to break even on their post, like their package, and then they achieve 80 or 90% of it every month, and the sales team make them a loss. I'm like, it's really simple, 10x their target. And then have a punishment structure if they don't achieve it, and a reward structure for achieving it that's so incredibly beneficial to them that they're incentivized to, and do the dance. Carrot and stick.